For decades, your life was a symphony of noise, the rush of ambition, the demands of work, the beautiful chaos of a full house. Then, almost without notice, the music softens. The frantic pace fades into a quiet hum. And in that sudden stillness, a profound and unsettling question surfaces. What now? Perhaps you catch your reflection in the mirror, and for a half second, you don't recognize the person looking back. The face shows the miles, the years, the battles won and lost. But inside, a younger you is still living, asking, how did we get here so fast? This feeling, this quiet disorientation, is not depression. It is not failure. It is the profound and unfamiliar feeling of arriving in a new country without a map. You've spent a lifetime chasing careers, children, reputation, security. But no one prepared you for what happens when the chasing ends. What if this new territory is not an ending, but the real beginning? The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, standing in the bustling marketplace of Athens, declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. But this raises a question. When does one truly have the time, the space, and the perspective for such an examination? Youth is for living. The later years are for understanding what has been lived. It is only those who have traveled far enough who are finally ready to sit down and read the map of their own journey. In the East, the Daoist sage Laozi taught a similar truth. He wrote, "To know others is intelligence. To know yourself is true wisdom." The first half of life is often spent mastering the world of others, their expectations, their systems. But true wisdom, he tells us, is a turning inward. And that journey can only begin when the world finally grows quiet enough for you to hear your own soul speak. Part 1. The unfamiliar territory. Our society is a culture that idolizes the blaze of youth. It worships speed, growth, and constant productivity. For 50, 60 years, you have been in the race. You've run hard. You've spent a lifetime chasing, building a career, raising a family, securing a reputation, saving for the future. It was a life of motion, of striving, of becoming. But no one prepared you for what happens when the chasing slows. When the children have built lives of their own, when the career concludes, when the noise of daily obligation fades to a quiet hum, a new landscape emerges, an unfamiliar territory. It's in this quiet that new questions begin to surface. Why do I feel disconnected from the world I worked so hard to build? Who is this person I see in the mirror? This feeling is not depression. It is not failure. It is the profound and disorienting feeling of arriving in a new country without a map. But what if this new country is, in fact, your homeland? What if this quiet is not an emptiness, but an invitation? The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, standing in the bustling marketplace of Athens, declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. But this raises a question. When does one truly have the time, the space, and the perspective for such an examination? Youth is for living. The later years are for understanding what has been lived. It is only those who have traveled far enough who are finally ready to sit down and read the map of their own journey. In the East, the Daoist sage Laozi taught a similar truth with a different flavor. He wrote, "To know others is intelligence. To know yourself is true wisdom." The first half of life is often spent mastering the world of others, their expectations, their needs, their systems. But true wisdom, he tells us, is a turning inward, and that journey can only begin when the world finally grows quiet enough for you to hear your own soul speak. Part 2. This is not slowing down, it's awakening. Our culture has a flawed vocabulary for this stage of life. We call it slowing down, retiring, disengaging. These are words of subtraction, of loss. But philosophy offers us a more powerful and accurate word: awakening. You are not slowing down. You are moving from the surface to the center. Youth is motion, age is meaning. In the first half of life, we live outward. We gather experiences, relationships, successes, and failures. Our energy is expansive, chaotic, and focused on building our place in the world. In the second half of life, we are called to return inward. The task is no longer to gather, but to distill, to sift through a lifetime of experiences and find the golden threads of wisdom. The brilliant psychologist Carl Jung, who himself did his most important work in his later years, wrote, "We cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning." This is a profound insight. The goals, strategies, and definitions of success that served you in your youth are not only inadequate for this new stage, they become obstacles. To continue running the morning's race in the afternoon of your life is to run against your own nature. This awakening is a shift from force to a different kind of power. Daoist philosophy teaches that the soft overcomes the hard, the quiet overcomes the loud. Think of a river. In its youth, it is a loud, crashing waterfall, full of force but contained by the canyon walls. In its later stages, it widens, slows, and deepens. It moves with a quiet, immense power that can gently, over time, reshape the entire landscape. This is the power you are growing into. The gentle, persistent power of awareness that can reshape mountains of old beliefs and carve new canyons of peace. Part 3. The inner seasons of a deeper life. This awakening is not always peaceful. It can be a disorienting season of the soul, bringing with it profound emotional challenges. You might feel a fear of irrelevance in a world that no longer asks for your professional skills. You might feel a deep loneliness as your social circles change. You might be visited by the ghost of regret for paths not taken. Our first instinct is to see these as problems to be fixed. But what if they are not? What if these feelings are not signs that something is wrong, but signs that something deep and important is happening? The great spiritual teachers tell us these are signs of a spiritual winter. It may look barren on the surface, but it is beneath the frozen ground that the deepest roots take hold, preparing for a new kind of spring. For the fear of irrelevance, we must redefine our value. For decades, your worth may have been tied to your productivity, your role as a parent, your title at a job. Now you are invited to discover a value that is intrinsic. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh taught, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." The superpower of this season of life is not speed or productivity, but presence. The ability to be fully where you are, to listen deeply, to offer the simple, profound gift of your calm, undivided attention. This is a rare and precious form of value in our distracted world. For the ache of loneliness, we must learn to distinguish it from solitude. Solitude is a choice. Loneliness is a feeling of lack. This new quiet in your life is an opportunity to transform loneliness into a rich and chosen solitude. It is a chance to finally befriend the one person who has been with you on this entire journey, yourself. And for the heavy weight of regret, the Stoic philosophers offer a liberating tool. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This sounds morbid, but it is the opposite. It is a radical call to presence. You cannot change the past, The future is uncertain. The only point of your power is now. By focusing on the absolute preciousness of this present moment, the grievances of the past lose their grip. You stop reliving old chapters and start fully inhabiting the one you are in. The gentle power of awareness. So you see, you are not becoming less, you are becoming still. And in that stillness, you can finally hear. You are not fading away, you are returning to yourself. This stage of life is not a descent. It is a turning inward to where the real treasure has always been buried, beneath the noise of a busy life. The great shift is in the questions you ask. You no longer need to ask, "What must I achieve next?" You finally have the freedom to ask, "What have I never truly seen before?" That flower by the window you've passed 10,000 times. The intricate pattern of light and shadow on the floor. The sound of the breeze moving through the trees. Your own breath, rising and falling. Your own being, here, now. This is the great work of life's afternoon. This is the awakening. And it doesn't require a grand plan. It asks only for your quiet attention. So, journal without a purpose. Sit with your thoughts without judgment. Walk without a destination. Not because you need to achieve anything, but because now, finally, after a lifetime of doing, you have earned the sacred right to simply be.